VisitTri-Valley, California presents Chef's Corner.
My name is John Jackson and I'm cooking at Casa Real Event Center in Ruby Hill Winery. We also have another property, it's Palm Event Center, which is at Mitchell Katz Winery, it's just down the street. Today we're going to do wine braised short rib with pickled shallot and a nice demi-jus or bordelaise finished with a little butter. Just go over the mise en place real quick for the dish. I've got right here, I've got some corn-fed beef. This is a short rib that's been tied somewhere around 6 to 7 ounces. I'm going to season that up real well with salt and pepper. I've got some mascarpone cheese, some Meyer lemon for garnish. This is watermelon radish, which has been sliced, is peeled, sliced, and then julienne. And then I just soak it in some ice water for about 5 minutes. Crisps it up and gets makes it brighter. I've got some bordelaise or veal demi-glace that we've made here. Some really nice butter. I really recommend, if you're going to finish your sauce with butter, that you use something that's organic, fresh herbs to do the milk, and also to do the bordelaise. I've got some oregano, some fresh thyme, some rosemary. I've got some scallion sliced, some black pepper. This right here is a pickled shallot. It's basically shallot, which is a small onion that's been sliced, and then I make a pickling juice, which is simply sugar, vinegar, and a little bit of water, and then you season it, throw in a beet to give it the red color, boil it, taste it, make sure it's like stringent enough. You want a good balance of salt, sweet, and sour, and you know, strain it off, and while it's still hot, pour it over your sliced shallots with the couple of pieces of beet, and in about 1 or 2 days the redness from the beet will really transfer to the shallot, give you a nice bright color and a nice sharp contrast to the fat that's in the meat. So these are the herbs or some of the spices that I'm using for the bordelaise when we braise the meat. This right here is fennel seed, which is like anise flavor. This is coriander, and this is a juniper berry, which is like from a cedar tree. So I'm going to season these up and get these in the pan and seared off, and Alex is going to handle cooking the polenta.
Great.
A little bit of sea salt here. You can use any salt you like. I like the sea salt because it's coarser. I'll let it sit on the meat for a second, then it sticks to it. A little bit of black pepper. It's important that you season it really well. This is gonna, some of the seasoning will fall off when you sear it in the pan, and then you're gonna braise it in a liquid, so some of the seasoning is gonna transfer to the liquid as well, so you really want this nicely seasoned. Different ways to sear off short rib for this. The method is to flour your meat first and then sear it. Another way is to leave the flour out of it, which is what I like to do. If you flour it, you'll get a color on the meat easier, and also the flour that's left over will serve as somewhat of a thickening agent. It'll form somewhat of a roux in the pan, so when you add your sauce or your wine, it'll thicken it. And you want a really good sear on this, because the caramel on this meat is what's going to give your sauce all of its flavor when we reduce it. Once this is seared on both sides nicely, we're going to add some wine to the pot. Of course, we're at Ruby Hill Winery, so I'm going to use Ruby Hill Winery's Pinot Noir. You can use a Merlot. They're not as tannic as, say, I don't know if that's a word or not, but they don't have as much tannins as, say, a Cabernet. So I would really recommend against using Cabernets for this. Once it's reduced, you want it soft, not harsh. But it's real simple. Sear it off, both sides, good color. You can sear all the way around if you like. You could throw some garlic cloves in here, some herbs, add your wine, and add a little bit of the bordelaise that I was talking about, which is veal stock that we make here with caramelized shallots. We add a little bit of bone marrow to it. I know that sounds odd, but that is a classic bordelaise. So it's wine, caramelized meat, shallot, and bone marrow. If you don't have this at home, which you probably won't, you'll go to if you go to Whole Foods, they carry veal stock sometimes, or veal demi in bags. That's great, stuff's great. They do add a little bit of cornstarch to that, so be aware of that. Or you can use beef broth. But what you want to be careful of is the salt content, because the sodium or the salt, when you cook this down, it's really intense and it'll ruin your dish. So if you use beef broth, don't over-reduce it, and pick a beef broth that is low or no sodium. I don't know if they make a no sodium, but I know they make low sodium. So
All right.
flip them, they've got a nice crust on them. It's nice and even. I can still see the salt on there.
Great.
I'm going to drain the fat out of the pan because the
Okay.
fat is gross. And once I get all that out of there, I'm going to go ahead and add the wine to this, add some herbs. I'm going to add the coriander, the fennel, and the juniper. I'm going to turn this down. There's a couple different ways to cook this. You can cover this, throw it in the oven, 290 degrees, say 2 to 3 hours. Whatever you want, do not let the liquid boil. If the liquid is boiling, it's too hot, you're going to ruin the shortbread. Very important that it's low and slow. 290, 303. The seed. You can throw all of the this in a sachet, which is basically a deconstructed sachet. Throw a cheesecloth and tie it. That way you don't have it floating around.
Okay.
I don't, you know.
And that was how much wine did you put in there for the stock?
Just that you just want to add enough to almost cover your meat, and that's all you need. And take some of the cooking jus, and you can put it into a pan, and you're going to slowly reduce it
Okay.
into the meat.
So how long did you cook the short ribs?
These are about 3 hours.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice, and you can see it's a little high right now, but you really don't want to see any. You don't want to see it boiling.
Okay.
Or you ruin it. That looks really rich. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of butter to this. Maybe 2 pieces. This is nice butter. This butter is Plus Gras, which is a European style butter. European style butters tend to have a little less water and a little more fat content. Classic butters are 85% fat. I think 10% water and 5% milk solids. Plus Gras is somewhere around 92% fat. So fat is flavor, and that's what makes things good and creamy. At this time, you could also add some herb to your sauce, which would really be nice. So I'm just going to pick a few thyme leaves here and throw it right in the jus, just to keep it rustic, earthy, and bright. We're almost ready to go with this. The sauce looks perfect.
Oh, it's amazing. It smells good too.
Yeah, I'm going to shut it off. Swirl it around. That's it. You really want to baste the meat with the sauce. The idea is to really get it in there and shellac the meat so it stays nice and shiny and moist. This is it. I think we're pretty much ready to plate.
For more information on the restaurants featured in this month's edition of Chef's Corner, go to www.ourrootsareShowing.com.